everybody. My name is Dave.
And I'm Sean.
Together, we are Barstools and Bandtalk, the complete world domination, what you called it the other day, plethora of...
I've got to start doing that.
You look just like me.
That could be my death, really. I look better than you. What are you talking about? Mm-hmm. Anyway.
What a fun night this is going to be, Sean. Please bring this gentleman on, because in the preamble, I'm just saying, I think this is going to be a hoop.
Yeah, we were just chatting with him, and some people have said, "Are you turning this into a drummer channel?" And I'm not. But the thing is drummers are personalities, right? You had Keith Moon, you had John Bonham, you had Ringo Starr, you had all these guys. This guy, he had a really cool interview that he posted a couple weeks ago. I reached out to him. He got back to me within 20 minutes, and I asked him to come on the show. A lot of people are going to recognize him, the name. Played in a little old band called Trixter, who will go through what they've done. But Mark is a drummer, an accomplished trumpet player. Mm-hmm. He's an entrepreneur. He's owned restaurants. He's got a new vodka that's coming out, which we'll cover. So without further ado, we have Mark Gus Scott III from Trixter.
And here he is. I think I see a black screen. There he is.
Fellas,
how's it
John,
going, brother?
Dave, come in, Houston. Anyone home?
So
you got me?
I got you, brother. Yeah.
So the reason you had a post a couple of weeks ago, and the caption was just some good toilet reading for you. I don't remember the magazine, but basically the story covered Trixter having the chance to open for David Lee Roth, and you guys chose to go on the Warrant Firehouse tour. The reason why I reached out to you, the interview was funny. I'm sitting there reading, I'm going like, this dude, just the way that it's read has got to be the way that he talks, and I was just so impressed with it. So just let's start with that. So we did the intro with Trixter, but you're a great interview, man. Like there's a lot of people have said, I don't know, right? So let's just talk about you for a second. I mean, like the singers usually always get all the accolades. Where are you from? Where did you grow up? What's your background, Mark?
Singers might get the accolades, but the drummers get laid. So we do have some positive columns. But the article you were referring to, it wasn't that we just chose to go with the Warrant and Firehouse Blood, Sweat, and Beers tour. We were advised by our management to do so, and that was the real key point of the story. Sometimes people don't necessarily understand what management is all about, what they do, and the way they justify their existence is by offering direction, by offering advice, by at the end of the day, you want to keep the band playing as long as possible, get them generating, get them out there and doing stuff and making the right moves. And one wrong move could be your career. So it's really a manager's job to navigate that sea, if you will. So, to be quite honest with you, as far as that David Lee Roth story goes, David Lee Roth was our hero. He was our god. He was Van Halen, the logo that we worshipped on the wall, that we would be nothing without. So when we got a call from David Lee Roth, said, "Hey guys, come on," we're like, "Oh, we're going, we're ready for the party." It was a dream come true. And then management sat me down and said, "Gus, shut up. We need to talk about this because we got a phone call from Warrant." I'm like, "What are you talking about? It's David Lee Roth." "Shut up, Gus. This is what we need to talk about." All right. And that's the job of a manager, truth to power, whatever you want to call it. But the fact of the matter is, Dave's third solo album was slipping. He needed strong support, and it was not as strong as, let's say, an Eat 'Em and Smile or a Skyscraper.
Right.
Warrant it was on their second album, Cherry Pie, and they were kicking it in the ass. Firehouse just came out, had a top 40 single with Love of a Lifetime, and they were about to break. They had that Don't Treat Me Bad, and they were about to release Love of a Lifetime.
Right.
We had 3 #1 videos on MTV. So from a target marketing standpoint, it was the right matter which to go. That was the tour. And guess what? Our management was 100% correct. We would have been 100% wrong to blow it off. You know, it turned out to be the biggest tour in '91. We sold more stuff than it became bigger than we really thought. We started with a whole bunch of dates and like, nice places. And then we started selling them out. And we started adding more dates. And then we started adding bigger dates. Highlight was one we did in World Amphitheater, Chicago, 33,000 seats. We said, we're not going to sell it out. It'll be a nice show, but I sold it out.
Right.
So crazy. You know, we had the biggest pay-per-view of the year in '91, biggest tour of the year, grossed more money than Whitney Houston. And then with a Padre Pino, sort of top. I mean, come on, it was huge, man. So, you know, that was the real basis of that article that you're talking about, how the importance of management. And that holds true in any business, you know, and should they get compensated for it? You better believe it. A good manager earns their compensation.
A bad manager works for Billy Squire.
But yeah, we were very fortunate. We really were very fortunate that we had a good guy watching. Joel Weinshanker and Ken Mako, Shark Entertainment, best. They were the best.
But you know, that's, you know, honest to God. Now, do you prefer Gus or Mark? What do you prefer to go by?
My friends call me Gus.
We be your friends? We call you
You
Gus?
can call me Mr. Scott, yeah.
Well,
Come on, man. Fucking lighten up, Francis. Holy shit.
Gus, seriously, you're the first person, the first artist we've had on this show who has actually praised the management team. I've never heard anyone else do it. So, you know what? That's awesome.
You know, it is a rare, it's funny. Normally you hear the burn, doom, and gloom stories of they ripped me off, and it happens. It's true.
Oh, yeah.
We're one of the fortunate ones, I guess. I mean, it was really, we had a great management team. We really did. And I think a lot of people don't, again, there's so much more than what they do. But at the end of the day, if they give you great guidance, keep the band together and keep them playing, they're doing their job. Absolutely. You know, and they did it very effectively. They really did.
That's awesome.
I want to tell you a funny little story that I was sharing with Dave there. On Saturday, you sent me that video of the vodka, which we'll cover in a minute. I was at a club that we were promoting a show at on Saturday. It was a Halloween show. It was really cool. So you send me the video. I'm looking at it. I go to the DJ and I said, "Oh my God, we're interviewing this guy this week. It's the drummer for Trixter." And as I said that, the video for 1 in a Million comes on the club or the TV. I kid you not. And he's like, "Come on!" And you know what? I had not seen that video in a long time. And you know, we're all of the same vintage. And I mean, you'll recognize the fact that those were good times no matter where you were. And all of a sudden, the '90s took over, and you know, it was what it was. But talk a little bit about that, because you guys are all young guys. You're touring around, you know, you're on the cover of magazines, you're selling records, you're doing this. It had to be an absolute friggin' blast just to get up in the morning.
For me, yeah. It's funny. I remember the first week in particular on the tour bus. That was it. When we finally went out on the road, I used to wake up, pop out of my bunk naked, yell and scream, run up and down the hallway of the bus, and everybody come fucking start laughing. You know, but that's what I, you know, like, whoa. You know, every day it was like, oh my God, I can't believe it. And our schedule was packed. We were literally playing 6 days a week, pretty much minimum. Wow. And sometimes 7. So it was a new place every day, on the road a lot. And when you're 23, who cares? You know, it was great, you know. Amen. So I had no problems with it, you know. It was awesome. It was a total dream come true, even from the first day going out, you know, before things really broke. And when things really broke, here's the funny part. Yes, was it awesome? Dream come true? Yeah, everything that we expected and then more, you know, where reality exceeded our dreams. It was awesome. The one part you don't see, first thing that comes to mind, I remember where our management pulled us aside in the Newport Music Center, Ohio, and said, "Hey, fellas, you're #1 on MTV." Now that was like a pinnacle moment where everything stopped, like, holy crap. It's like, okay, you got to be on stage in about 10 minutes. I'll get moving. So yeah, you know what I mean? Like, you get to celebrate those moments, but you don't get to celebrate in the way because you got to go to the next town. We got our gold records at the Meadowlands Arena in April of '91, and guess what? Party, okay, get on the bus. You know? So, or maybe I went with my friends, you know, went out for a couple hours, but then I got to be back by 11 o'clock to catch the bus to freaking get out of town. You know, so it's kind of interesting to have that, but you get to celebrate it on stage every day, you know, or even afterwards at night, even on the bus partying. So, you know, it's great, but you got to move. you know, so you got to do it while you're moving. I think you get better at that as time goes on.
So this 1991 tour, like how long did you do it for? Like how long was this tour on for? And is this one that included Europe too, or no?
No, it was primarily America, Canada,
Okay, yeah.
Mexico, maybe a couple dates also, but it was 13 months long. We did 321 shows, 318, 321. I forgot the exact count. Yeah. So we were playing, man, 13 months. Like I said, we were playing 6 to 7 days a week, and we took very little time off in that 13 months. Like we did, I don't know, maybe 2 weeks over Christmas kind of thing, or, you know, that sort of thing. Otherwise, we played New Year's Eve, 1990 into 91. We played Carolinas. Christmas, that whole week leading up to New Year's, we played. I remember it was a very exciting time, you know. And that, let me tell you something, pal. When we finally stopped in the summer of 91, I wish we didn't stop so long. We lost a lot of momentum, you know, and not to mention during a time that the scene changed very radically. We went from 3 #1 videos on MTV to being cut at MTV and having no MTV airplay at all. You know, not just us, the genre of hair metal, if you want to call it, or that style of music was falling out of favor because MTV wanted it to. They changed the programming. They eliminated Dial MTV, the countdown, and you know, what used to dominate the charts. Now there was no charts, so nobody dominated. And they got pretty much dictated what their program was going to be like. They took what was alternative and made it commercial, and took what commercial and made it an outcast of people.
Well, so, and I mean, I'll tell you, you know, you mentioned the hair metal genre, and to me, it's, I mean, somebody else, and, you know, you hear different sorts of things, hair metal, power metal, whatever. I'm a diehard man. Hair Nation is all that's on when I'm driving around. You know, I listen to Eddie Trunk on Monday nights. You know, I might wander a little bit, but it's like those tunes, it's interesting how when grunge came in, everybody kind of poo-pooed the whole hair metal thing, and now it's you get the Monsters of Rock Cruise, you get the Kiss, like it's a comeback. And the interesting thing is the kids now know it because their parents grew up listening to it and still do. Is that a fair statement?
Dude, here's really how it works. It's media driven. When there's a vehicle to promote something, just by the law of frequency, of broadcast and frequency and response, it's going to happen. You know, just how good the band is going to determine what kind of response you're really going to get. So, but if you have MTV and they're playing a certain something, the likelihood of people gravitating toward it is a hell of a lot more likely than if they didn't play it. So, you know, that's one thing, number one. So when MTV stopped playing that genre, the genre fell by the wayside, you know, and realistically, what happened on MTV, the radio stations pretty much followed suit. So, you know, it's kind of interesting the way that works. And now that there is satellite radio and there is something like Hair Nation and pioneers like Eddie Trunk are carrying the torch for the genre, you know, there's a vehicle to promote that, to bring it back, to, you know, to cause the resurgence and have things like Rocklahoma go on and things like that. You know what I mean? So yeah, and all the people that remember way back when are getting their kids involved. So yeah, bands have an opportunity to really live those glory days again and to really do it right. And I think it's awesome. There's, you know, God bless America.
Listen, let's do this. When we take a quick break and we'll come back, we'll talk a little bit more about this next generation, because you're touching on a point there that I found very astounding. Is that the amount of young people, I say young people, millennials, who know, love, and breathe and are now starting to write that same genre of music today. So maybe we'll touch on that when we come back. I want to hear more about your vodka too. All right. We'll be back in a few.
Barstools Bandtalk, the complete Bandtalk music bucket list.